Oh, hey folks, it's Paul. Good morning to you. We'll take a very quick run of the news. I don't think there'll be hardly any because I covered it last night. Let's take a really quick look to see if there's anything else here. I do not see anything else. I covered it, which means we're going to get into my experiences, which I will tell you. Okay. I don't see anything new here. In fact, there isn't anything new. So I might as well get into my story. Good morning to everybody. I don't have too much time today, but I'm going to keep you abreast of this, of what I know. I can't say the word anymore. Okay, I can't say the word, but it continues merrily on its way. The brain dead sheep are not going to wake up. They continue to follow. And when you ask these people, just let me ask you something. Like, when will you have enough? Like, will it be enough when you have to get like maybe 15 of these in 1 year? Would that be enough for you to do it? Or are you still okay with that? And these people are so stupid and so convinced that they want to follow the pack that they can't even comprehend anything that's being told to them other than the conventional nonsense which is being told to them. In other words, if you tell them, look, you're going to have to go 3 times a month and give a fecal sample, they're okay with that. They're going to be okay with that. Whatever they're told to do, there is nothing that they're not willing to do in order to be able to promote this and to keep it going. This is what they want. And they don't only want it, they demand it. It's like I told you. It's like a prisoner that needs to be in jail, and you tell them, they tell you that they want to go back to jail, and then you tell them, I'm not sure I can take you back to jail. And they'll say they demand it. I mean, this is how convenient this is. So you've got mindless sheep that don't understand a thing, that are going to be told what to do. There is no limit for them. Whatever they're told to do, fecal sample, 3 times a week urine samples, 15 of these every year, who knows? What are we up to now? 4? That doesn't make any difference to them. To them, the more, the merrier. There could be nothing better than to hear that there's a 4th on the way. Now, I went ahead and I worked at a hotel. And I'm telling you folks that you simply do not understand what's going on. Even the people that are with me on my channel that are telling me that you know what's going on, you probably don't. You don't realize it. You don't realize it, what and how severe this is. The first night that I worked for 2 hours, and they trained me. And everything went swimmingly until the end of the shift. And it was a black preacher. According to him, he was a black preacher. I don't know what the whole particulars were on it, but he was a black American preacher, and of my age, roughly. And I'm going to have to paraphrase this down for you so that we can make time here. But he just, when it all came down to it, and we talked for a few minutes, and I told him that it's not real. It's not what you think. And this was, more of the anti-blankers nonsense, because that's what they've been fed on the television, and that's the only thing that they can go to. Okay, so anything that doesn't agree with them, it's all anti-something or another, and it's all propaganda. Okay, they've got the truth. Now, I told him, I said, what? Is there anything I could tell you? Is there any information I could share with you about this that would cause you, some concern? And it finally came down to the fact that he had realized, after great deliberation, that this was brought on by satanic forces. This has been brought on by satanic forces, and that God has prevailed by giving us this miracle, this scientific emergency issued miracle. And if you think I'm kidding, I ain't. Okay? And there's nothing else you can say, folks. There's nothing else you can say. That's it. Okay? So that's where that went. Now, his kind of final shot at me was that another co-worker, shall we say. I won't spill the beans. I still have to get my paycheck there. But the co-worker of his was terribly heartbroken because he just had somebody perish from you know what. And you're kind of ham-hocked there. You can't say, well, he didn't do, because we don't know, right? I can't tell you one way or another. Is it possible he could have perished from other things that it could. It also may be just as he said. I'm not here to tell you one way or another. But that didn't play out well, and I couldn't really say anything about it. Now, I did manage to see who it was, because I take a risk here, but it's important to the storyline. He was a very, very well-respected person in an alternate lifestyle format, shall we say. And he carried a kind of well, I can't tell you he carried a big stick, but I mean, he was kind of, you could tell that he was maybe politically active. If not politically active, he was completely 100% on board. And on my last day there, I kind of touched on a couple things, and we had a person that perished from doing something that they're forcing upon the globe, and that didn't make any difference to him, and all sorts of different things. And we just kind of started touching on it a little bit. And folks, this is what I want you to understand. The people are so stupid right now that they are going to believe exactly what's being put in front of them. And I don't care if they're being told to give fecal samples 4 times a week. They're going to do it if they're told to do it. Whatever they're being told to do, that's what they're going to do. There is nothing that you or I are going to tell them that's going to change their mind. If they have to give urine samples once a week, if they have to have somebody come into their house and check them, that's all the better for them. What could be better than to have somebody coming in and checking on you? That's what they do with laboratory rats. They check you and make sure that you're okay. So what could be harmful about this? This is exactly what the forefounders of our country were hoping for God's sakes, to have somebody come in and check you in your house like they're doing in Australia, sending out the military to make sure that you stay in your abode. Massive $1,000 fines, multi-$1,000 fines for walking out without the proper papers. Thank you. You people are sick. You're sick in your heads. You're not going to be happy until we're under complete and total care like rats are. And then you'll be happy, because then you'll be taken care of. Now, let's get back to the story, okay? Which is true, by the way. So we kind of got into it, okay? And I said something or another. And here's where the doo-doo hit the fan. This was a black guy. Okay, and a very powerful man indeed, and tall. I'd say he's 6'2". And he was talking to me, and all of a sudden another black guy came up, and he was kind of, sorting it all out and figuring out what we're talking about. And this dude was 6'2" and black also, and he looked like he was like a strong guy. And I told him, I said, you know what it is, and it is a you know what. And I told him, I kind of left him with that. That guy went over to the guy that just walked up, who was a black guy, with a knapsack or something like that. And this was in a place where you take airplanes out and stuff like that. This is a high-end place. We're not talking about bagged people here. And he looked and couldn't believe the nonsense uttered out of my mouth. And he walked over and he turned to the other black guy and he goes, this guy, he's not gonna get what they're forcing upon the entire globe. He's not gonna get it. Can you believe how stupid? You know what that black dude said? Without even missing a beat, it floored me. He looked at me, he says, I'm not putting that poison in my body. And it floored me. I stopped and I said, my eyes opened and my mouth fell. And I said, man, I respect you. I said, little brother, I respect you. I said, how in the world could you think that? I said, everybody's telling you all the different. How in the world could you come up with something like that? And then the politically active guy there couldn't believe it either. And I started running it down to them, and I explained to them what's going on. When I talked to that guy, I kept... Remember I told you about the dumb, artificial something or another theory, right? I'm not by myself here. Well, that's what I did to him. And that's what you have to do in order to be able to coax out the evilness and the stupidity of the people. That's what you have to do to them. So I kind of told him, as I was kind of working into this with the thing that's being forced upon everybody in the world, I said, what if it comes down to where they're going to put you in jail if you don't do this? And he said, well, it may come to that. It may come to that. And I looked at the man and I said, do you understand the stupidity of what's coming out of your mouth right now? You see, he thinks he's real smart. He's not smart at all. Because if you go on this internet and you look at the Milgram experiment, that's what this is. That's the second and almost like the final stage of the Milgram experiment. In other words, they're following orders. And they're following what they believe is correct and the orders that they're being given. And if there's something wrong, if something goes wrong, well, my God, that they were just doing what they thought was right. In the Milgram experiment, they were giving lethal shocks, but it wasn't their fault. They were being told to do it, and it's a part of the human brain which alleviates the guilt of things that come upon you that you're told to do, that you have to have a moral compass in order to be able to deny doing. That's what that was all about. That's what the Milgram experiment was about. He's ignorant. So he didn't know anything. Now, that's why the kids up in Wisconsin, Ohio, New England, that's why the kids in college are suing so that they don't have to put the poison in their body. But they're being told that they have to do it. Now, they're smart kids because they know about the Milgram experiment. They've learned it through their higher education, where you have a bunch of migrant immigrants coming in at 70% of your population. What do you think they know? The answer is nothing. Exactly. So, do you think that they're going to understand about the Milgram experiment? Do you know what a scold's bridle is? Of course not. They're mindless immigrants that are coming into this country and we can't stop them. What do you think is going on? So they can't think. So we're doomed. That's what the reality of the situation is. And it's not just them, to be fair, it's Americans too. The one's as dumb as the next. Folks, this man, I pressed him about it, and you know what he told me? He said if I didn't want to get the thing that's being forced upon everybody, I could go to another country. I'm not making that up. And he was so dim-witted that when the other black guy came over to him and he was kind of talking to him about it, and I told the black guy, I said, look, that guy, he wants everybody arrested. I said, that's what his whole thing is. There's no limit to what he wouldn't do. And the guy said, oh, you're putting things into my mouth. I said, really? I'm putting things in your mouth? I told you that pretty soon they're going to arrest people, and you said, well, it may come to that. It may come because I'm part of the Milgram experiment. I'm going to be giving the shocks to the people, and pretty soon it's not my fault because I've been told to do it. So it's not my fault, it's the person above me. And that's what we got coming up. See, that's what they're doing now. They don't understand anything. So what do we have? We have hopeless doom. And now we have a fourth. Now we have a fourth because Israel says they're going to give a fourth. So now it's going to be, how many what's your limit? Do you want to take 15 in 1 year? What's your limit? What will make you say, hey, you know what? Let's stop and think about this. No, that's not possible for you mindless idiots, is it? No. If it's 20, could it be? No, it's whatever they tell you, right? Whatever they tell you, just believe it, for God's sakes. How far are you willing to go? Are you willing to take children away from people that don't get it? Are you willing to do, oh, you are? Well, it may come to that, huh? It may come to that, huh? Why will it come to that? Because you refuse to have a backbone and stand up and realize what this country is. Don't expect a bunch of brain-dead immigrant people here to understand what freedom is or liberty. Most of them have come from places where that doesn't exist. You have liberties and natural God-given freedoms that should not be trampled on. And that's what they're doing. And we have no hope. The Americans are as dumbed down as the immigrants. What are you going to do? This is what I ran into over there. And no matter what I said, he said, well, it may come to that, which is just his way of saying that he's participating in the Milgram experiment. And he also knows about Scold's Bridle, something that these people all over here, they don't understand what a Scold's Bridle is. If it bit them in the pachanga, they wouldn't understand what it is. Why? Because they're ignorant. They come from other countries that don't respect or value freedoms or liberties at all, and they don't want them. They want what they had in their country. Folks, we are doomed, and you have to start taking this seriously. So that's where we're going. And it's good to be with you after I've been banned for expressing anything other than cheerleading about this. So I've served my 2-week punishment, and now I'm back again, and we're going to pick up where we left off. God bless you, folks. Use the brain that God gave you and make a limit. And say to yourself, well, if they ask to come into my home, that's going a little bit too far. But you mindless idiots will support that too. Because it will be spoon-fed to you enough and enough to realize that it's absolutely necessary. You understand? Whatever it is that they're telling you to do, you're going to do it. You folks better snap shit. God bless you folks. Take care. I love you all. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.